Hey guys, today's video is going to be a foundation first impressions review, a wear test type of thing on the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. So I hauled this, excuse me camera, focus on the bottle. Thank you. So I hauled this forever ago and I was actually so excited to give it a try because if you guys have seen the numerous reviews and hype about it online, then you would know why I wanted to try it. But then someone told me it wasn't as good as what everyone hypes it up to be, and I was kind of like, oh really? So I sort of put off trying it because their comments really put me off this foundation even though I had never touched it. And also if you guys have watched my other foundation videos, then you'd know I'm more of a combination skin type. So in the summer months I definitely lean more to the oilier side of things. I get quite an oily forehead, but in winter that sort of settles down a little bit and I end up being quite dry around the bottom half of my face. And you guys, the last week and a half my skin has just been so angry. I broke out in a horrible rash and I have never been so dry in my entire life, but it's only just in the bottom part of my face. So my forehead still maintains a little bit of that oil production in winter. And also, even though I'm in Australia where I live, it gets really cold. I think a lot of people get a bit confused and they think Australia is just like summer all year round. It is in some places. Some places are beautiful and warm all year round, but where I live it gets very cold, like it snows all around us and stuff, so it gets quite cold. Not as cold as Canada. Not as cold as Canada, I'll say that, but it does get cold. So anyway, enough of my rambles. I'm just going to actually get into talking about the foundation. So I might quickly look it up. So I was gifted this foundation a few months ago actually. I hauled it in the Cosme D makeup haul. So if you haven't seen that, I'll link that below, but they gifted me that foundation along with some other products. On Sephora Australian's website, it is $99. I had no idea it was that expensive. Wow. Come on, camera. What are you doing to me today? It just wants to focus down there. And do you know what, guys? Whenever I use my Snapchat filter sitting in front of this, it like will put a dog face there. I think I have a ghost. Nana, is that you? On Cosme D, the company it was sent to me from, it is $68. Australian. Guys, it's so much cheaper on Cosme D. So I believe, I'm not sure exactly where they're based. I think they might be in China or something like that, but they sell high-end cosmetics at a discounted price. Please note, this is not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by Cosme D at all. They did very generously, can't talk, they did very generously gift me some product, but I am under no obligation to do this review or share about their website or anything like that at all. So it retails for $64 USD on the Sephora US site. Let me read you some info about it. So it says it's a lightweight liquid foundation that achieves a radiant silky finish. Apply with the Armani blender brush for a seamless airbrushed finish. So they do recommend to apply it with a brush. View all colors. Oh shit. They do have a lot of colors. So that's the shade range in the Luminous Silk up the top there. But I mean 3 shades in the dark category, I just don't know if that's going to really cater to enough darker skin complexions. So even though there's a lot of shades, they're kind of all geared to like the medium to light complexion. Now I did try this foundation out yesterday. I couldn't help myself. I just had to put it on my face because honestly I was a little bit worried that maybe I hadn't read enough about this foundation. I actually picked a foundation that was just never going to work for me. Typically I am more on the oily side, so I don't really like luminous finish products, period. And I also have a lot of redness, very blemish prone skin as you guys can see. And I was worried it was going to be so lightweight that it was going to be very light coverage. And if that was the case, if like it's super light coverage, I just don't bother wearing makeup. Like honestly, I'm either a medium or full coverage or nothing. Like no in between. As you can see, I have a lot of redness on the left-hand side of my face in particular, which I find very hard to cover. Even my fullest coverage foundations don't cover this. And you will notice I have 2 little spots here. They only popped up yesterday after wearing this foundation for the first time. So I'm going to be leaving this foundation on all day today, and I'm curious to see if I have any more little pimples pop up. Like I said, my skin has been terrible lately, so it may not actually be to do with the foundation, but we will definitely see after today if I have any more. And I had one other little one just under the skin pop up here. But as you can see, the right side of my face is a lot more less pigmented, like my skin tone is a lot more even. And other than that, My skin's pretty good today. It's actually not too dry. I have gone in and used my Neurum Age Defying Day Cream. This is a much thicker day cream to what I usually use, but like I said, my skin has been that bad that I really have needed intense hydration. So I have that on today. And then next up, I'm just going to use my MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime Water. Stop focusing on that. It's not even going to focus. I'm just going to hold it back here because you guys know what this is. I literally use it every time I ever do my makeup on camera. But it's the MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime Water. It's just like water in a bottle, but it just makes my skin feel so refreshed, and it gives it a little drink before I go putting a bunch of product on my face, and it just feels good. So I'm going to get my primer. I'm going to be using my Benefit Professional Matte Rescue on my forehead because even though I'm really, really dry, I still get a tiny bit shiny on my forehead, and this is what I typically use all the time, or like 90% of the time. However, like I was saying, because the lower half of my face has been super dry, I am going to use my Makeup Forever Step 1 Base Hydrating Primer on the lower half of my face, just to give it that little extra bit of hydration. I've been filming for 10 minutes already, and I haven't even put the foundation on. Gosh! So it comes with a pump applicator. Oh my god. Honestly. You're freaking me out, camera. You're freaking me out. So the packaging is super duper bougie, which you guys know I love anything bougie. It's glass and it has a very nice plastic lid. And then when you take the lid off, it has a pump. Yay! So I'm just going to squirt some of it on a hard surface, which is what I always do with my liquid foundations. I'm going to do 3 pumps because I think I'm going to need it. Then I'm going to take my finger and stipple it around my face first, and then I'm going to be using my round Kabuki F82 brush because I do recommend to use, I have my hair everywhere, oh my gosh. So they do recommend to use a foundation brush, and typically with a foundation that's this runny, I would use a brush over a beauty blender, and then if I find it like looks a little bit cakey or it needs a little bit more patting down, then I will go over with a beauty blender. Oh, I forgot to say too, I'm in shade 4.5, which I think is a really good match actually. I thought I might need a little bit darker. I probably could go like half a shade darker, but it's pretty good. So I'm just dotting it all over my face. Now, based on trying it yesterday, I can already tell you that in future, I will actually conceal my redness first, then apply the foundation. But for the sake of today's review and first impressions, I really just wanted to apply it straight onto my skin so you could see how it covers my redness, because that pigmentation I have here on my left-hand side is really difficult to cover. So if you have any sort of pigmentation issues, I just wanted to be able to give you an accurate representation of how well this actually covers that sort of stuff. So yeah, the color's good. I definitely think the color's good. And to see how easy it blends out. Ta-da! Like blended. Like I don't need to blend that anymore, seriously. Like I said, it's a very runny formulation, so it feels very light on the skin. Very light. It dries down pretty quickly too, I feel. So I definitely think 3 pumps is the perfect amount for all over your face. I'm just getting my mirror to look up close and just see how it's going. So I'm going to go around and just fix up my hairline. And as you guys can see, I do still have a little bit of foundation left on the top of the compact. So I'm just going to dip my brush directly into that now and blend my foundation around my hairline. So I typically avoid around my eyes with any excess foundation because I am going to conceal with my Shape Tape, and that stuff is super full coverage, so you really don't want to be putting a heap of foundation around your eyes to then put Shape Tape on top because it's just going to be too much. Excuse my patchy fake tan too. It's due to be washed off but I haven't had a chance to do that yet, so I'm just rocking what I've got left. So I feel like on initial application, it applies really well, very quickly, very evenly. I think it actually has really reasonable coverage for like such a lightweight foundation. However, I don't actually think it's luminous. I feel like it is very much a demi matte. The only time my skin looks luminous is because I've got a light to the side of me to light up the background, and every time that hits my face, it makes my skin look luminous, but my skin isn't actually luminous. It's quite matte. I do feel like it looks a little bit cakey, but it's because my skin has been so dry. So what happens usually after I've had foundation on for like half an hour, 15, 20 minutes or something, it settles in much better. So I feel like to start with, it can look a little on the cakey side, but once the warmth of my skin heats it up, it settles in really nicely. So that's what it looks like straight away. Now it is currently 20 past 9. So I'm going to be using my Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral, and I'm just going to put it under my eyes. I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead where I usually do, and I'm going to just leave my chin, I think, today. And I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and just start blending that out. So I always set all cream products on my face. So today I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics CC Airbrush Perfecting powder to set my under eyes and also all over my face. So these are like foundation powders. So they do definitely have pigment in them. So I'll give you one last close-up look of my skin with just the foundation as is, because I know some people don't set their faces with a powder, but I can't physically not set my cream products on my face. Like it feels weird if I don't. So, and not to mention, if it's more of like a medium coverage foundation, when I use some of these powders to actually set it, it'll make it more of a fuller coverage foundation too. And sometimes setting your foundations with a powder can just make them look a little bit more flawless. Also, I forgot to say I was using my Tapered F35 highlighting brush to set under my eyes. It's my favorite brush for under my eyes because it just gets in there so easily. Then now going in with the same powder but in the color medium and using my large F30 powder brush by Sigma, I'm going to set the rest of my face. Now I don't use like too much of this powder. I just dab my brush in and just pat the powder everywhere. See, I think that looks pretty dang flawless. Like, I think my skin looks great. You can still see a bit of the redness on my left side of my face, and you can still see that pimple a little bit. So all I would do is in the future, I would just conceal those areas with my Shape Tape before applying the foundation, and I don't think you'd see that at all. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup off camera. I'm not going to do anything fancy just because when I do foundation reviews, I like to leave the foundation on for as long as possible. And if I do too much of a full glam, I can't physically stand to leave the makeup on for that long. Like I can't wear fake eyelashes for like 8 to 10 hours. It just literally kills me. So I'm just going to do a very simple glam. So I will duck off camera and do that quickly and check back in with you guys once I've got my bronzer, blush and everything on. Okay guys, I am back. It is nearly 10 AM. I have the rest of my makeup on and I'm literally obsessed with how this foundation looks. Everything applied beautifully over the top. So as you can see, I've got my bronzer, which is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. I've used, what blush did I use? I used the California by Benefit, and I have the MAC, why can I never remember these names? The MAC Double Gleam highlighter on my cheekbones, and I've got the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in my brows, and I'm wearing the Benefit They're Real mascara, and everything applied incredibly. Oh, I'm also wearing a Too Faced Sweet Peach gloss in the shade Peach Fuzz. So that's all the products on my face, and everything looks amazing. Like I cannot fault how it looks right now. And I'm hoping you guys can see how flawless it looks on camera. Like I said before though, I don't feel like this is a luminous finish foundation, even slightly. I think it is very, very much a demi matte finish because my face is not luminous really. It's still quite matte. And even before I set my face with powder, it obviously was matte. So, I mean, you could definitely use like a dewy finishing spray if you wanted it to be more luminous over the top. But like I said earlier, I can't not set my face with powder like my cream products. I just can't not do it. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks. I think it looks stunning. It's very, very pretty. I don't really know what else to say other than I'm just going to wear it for the rest of the day now and just see how it wears, because based on initial application and based on my first impressions from yesterday and today, so far I'm loving it. So far I am loving it. However, I will say this, even though I love it, I probably would not pay $99 for it. It's just, that's so expensive. If I could get it for $68 like from the Cosme D site, then I would definitely pay $68, but I wouldn't pay $99 for it from Sephora. I'm sorry. I just think as much as it's a beautiful foundation, $100 is a lot of money, and I would rather get a foundation and something else than just a foundation, if you guys get what I mean, for $100. So yeah, like it's not that revolutionary that I think revolutionary, you guys know what I'm trying to say, but it's not that special that I think it warrants a $100 price tag, other than the fact that it's Giorgio Armani and it's bougie and it's a bougie name and it's a bougie price tag pretty much. So anyway, we're going to leave this on for the rest of the day. I actually have to go into work and do the wages today, because if you guys didn't know, I do work a normal job. People seem to think that YouTube is my full-time job, but it's not. It's just a hobby for me. I don't make enough money off it to live off it, and it's going to take a really long time to actually get to that point to financially be able to live off it. So I'm not saying it's not possible, just not possible right now. But yeah, so I'm going to go to work and just see how it wears throughout the day and go from there. So I'll check back in with you guys soon. And I'm in a weird mood, sorry. You guys, I've had the foundation on now for just over 8 hours, so it's just after 6 p.m. and I'm just at home with my little puppies. Say hello, everyone. Oh, you girls need haircuts. You need haircuts. But I'm just getting ready to jump in the shower and wash my face, and holy moly, I am impressed. Honestly, like I said before, I still have nothing bad to say about this foundation. Like, it's beautiful. It has worn amazingly on my skin. It looks great. It is definitely very much a light to medium coverage foundation, but something that's very buildable. And when you pair it with a powder, it gives the most beautiful medium full coverage, which I love for an everyday basis. As you can tell, I'm blinking a lot. I'm very tired and my eyes are very sore. But I don't think I have anything else to add. I don't think I have any more feedback. I've already said 10,000 times the price tag is ridiculous. $100 a little bit crazy, but if you can find it cheaper, or if you just love bougie products and you don't mind spending some serious cash on a product, then I would definitely recommend trying it out. I really love it. I'm not sure how it would go on super oily skin type, so I don't know if this is a foundation I would wear myself in summer as such. However, if you like set it with something like the Urban Decay De-Slick setting spray sort of thing, I'm sure it would actually last amazingly on more oily skin types as well. So I'd love to know if you guys have tried this foundation, or like if you haven't tried this foundation, do you want to? Or what foundations are on your bucket list? I have the Hourglass stick foundation to try out next, which I'm so excited to give a go. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add though. I'm so tired. I feel delirious. Just like, what else do I need to say? I don't think I need to say anything. And my dog's like licking my hand like a psychopath. Me as a licker, aren't you? You like to lick. You like to lick people. Anyway. Can you hear her licking? Stop. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a big thumbs up. If you're a new face, thank you for clicking on my video. Please subscribe before you leave. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched the very end. Lily, I'm going to go now before I make this video any more longer than what it already is. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.